Happy Monday, y'all. Start of another work week. Though I don't have to work, but it's still a week and I'm going to be busy here and there. So give a chance for everybody to pop in. And those watching on playback, thank you very much for taking time out of your day. I know I still have videos to watch and be not making through them all, but doing my best to support my peeps in the community. And today, as you can hear, I'm going to be bringing out my tiles gifted me by Jackie's Crystal Moon. So just get those all going, and maybe I can conjure Miss Tarot D because she likes my tarot so much. And of course, it is Morrigan Monday, so we will be getting a message from the Morrigan, Nach Morrigna. And I already pulled a card for that. And so I know originally my time was off a bit on I was half asleep when I made my link this morning. Allison was like, girl, do you see what time your show's listed out? Oops. So hey, Shelby. But no, as always, 2 p.m. on Mondays, although I think I might start switching things around a little bit, change up some stuff, maybe relook at the sacred feminine in a different way. We'll see. Bring maybe some new aspects. So how's it going, Shelby? How's it going? So got my statue of the Morrigan with me today. Well, in front of me, she's always here. But for our readings and then after the show, I have to do my daily message from her. And all righty, well, lots to talk about. You have a job interview. What type of job? If you can share, do tell. So I've got a couple things today. Wait till a few more people pop in. Apparently, I think we're still in Mercury retrograde, which could explain for some of the hiccups over, like with Friday with my show and then some other things where I've gotten people like, I haven't gotten your notification. Okay. So it could be just, oh, I used to do that, cleaning the kennels. I didn't do care. So for me, it was adoptions counselor where we would interview people who came to want to adopt an animal from our shelter. I had to do all the cleaning of the kennels. Oh, stinky, stinky, stinky. A couple of times I used to have to put what's that? Methylatum in my nose to keep the smell out a bit because a bunch of puppies, especially dogs, left overnight. Stinky, stinky, but I love that you're going to be doing that. I think you'll be a perfect fit. So we'll get started with the Morrigan's message for this week, and then I will move on to a few interesting things. Thank God it's my work right now. I'm not happy with and desperately trying to find another job before things go even more south. Being proactive. So, as my counselor would say, well, let's focus on what we want and not what we don't want. So, right now, you are working on finding a job that is going to make you happy and make you feel fulfilled. And leave off the rest. So, we got that positive energy going in there. I'm learning. I'm trying. So we got the sassy boo here. Hello, 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 my dear. Don't forget to smack that sassy. Smack it really good if you're inclined. And I used to volunteer at my local cat shelter. Yeah. The kitties. So, hi, Jax. How you doing, my dear? So this week, I'll just get things going because I do have to keep some of my shows a little shorter. Well, this week especially because I do have a show coming up tomorrow with Chris and Louise, which I have to reach out to her some point today after the show to see if we can do a backstage, just to get all of our notes and ideas in alignment for tomorrow's show. So I already pulled a card for Message from the Morgan, and we got this week for everybody, for the collective from the Morgan, the eel. And I think that's pretty badass. I think they did a beautiful job. Her art on this one is really stunning. So we've got the eel, and the eel is one of the animals she has been associated with in shapeshifting. And so the eel in this deck represents challenge, strife, and obstacles. So taking the form of an eel, the Morgan coiled around Cuchulainn in the cattle raid of Cooley, hindering him in battle. Here the eel coils around a shining sword representing the hero. It twists and bends the metal, blocking all action. There are tales of monstrous eels in Irish myth. Eels were often compared to let me see, how do you pronounce this? Peist, Peist, a little apostrophe over the E. That's pronounced peist. Monstrous serpents or worms. Many rivers were said to be dug out by the battles between serpents and the heroes. The Ollie feast in County Clare was said to have grown monstrous, even crawling out of the water to feast on flesh in graveyards. In the siege of Knocklon, or oh goodness, she didn't give us a pronunciation here, or Forbaiz Droma Dagmagder, doing my best. The power of an eel was summoned by a druid to create a curse. And this is really interesting because I was thinking about this stuff today to talk for the show. So the divinatory meaning for the eel from the Morgan. So the message is the sword stands half in the water and half out. Behind it, the sun sets. This is a liminal space where land, sea, and sky meet. And this is so cool because my show that I had Friday night, I named it Liminal. Very cool. Time is held still. The challenge you face may be overcome, or it can stop you in your tracks. The sunset represents the ending of something. Move forward, untangle yourself, and rise into a new day. Or will you stand still and let the challenge you face overcome you? The choice is yours. So, it's interesting. The power in eel was summoned by a druid to create a curse. Alrighty. Conversations. Okay, so that's the message for the collective from the Morgan. And I'm just going to close my book up here because curse, anger, rage seems to be where I'm being drawn to for today. Because in the past and most recent, a good friend of mine, we'd been talking, and she looked at me and said, she goes, there's like a lot of rage, a lot of anger with you lately. And I said, yeah. Hey, Lexi, what's going on, girl? Whoops, that's not Lexi. There's Lexi. Go check out her memes video. That was fun. So anger, rage. I think it's healthy to have and express and acknowledge all emotions. It's the point of where you learn how to balance them and to know, like with the strength card, how to overcome, like the chariot, how to overcome, the anger, the emotions, and be able to maintain that maintain that emotion, but in a healthy way. Hi, Tom, I'm Lexi. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Shelby. So yeah, she said you got a lot of rage, got some anger, and I've heard this before too. And especially now, hell yeah, feminism is for everyone. How for me, it's like, how can I not? How can a lot of us, men included, but women, with everything that is going on in the world? I mean, really focusing too on our country. And again, I attempt to be try not to be political, but a lot of video, and it's just not all politics. A lot of politics is involved in it. Because as many of you know, I'm connecting with and trying to help become involved in the prevention and supports and of human trafficking, helping men, helping women, because a majority are women. I'm very angered at what I am seeing in the world. And you know what? We, to a degree, need to be angry. And is it that we need to be angry every time we do a show or every time we talk to somebody? No. But I think there's a lot going on in this world right now, especially in our country, that deserves righteous anger. So to me, righteous anger. It's how we use it and direct it, and how we, again, not let it devour us and make us ill, because we need to make sure we self-care. But I think being angry, being kind of rageful when I see what is going on, against women, against children, what's going on, in our country with ICE. And I don't, like I said, I don't talk a lot of politics, but every now and then I will acknowledge on my channel, this is fucking unacceptable. I am not proud of my country for doing this. This is what they're doing is not right. And as people, we need to find, as a nation, we need to stand up to people, not just politicians, but those in our community, to say, listen, this is unacceptable, and stand our ground, stand what we believe in, and direct that energy into, if we can protest, if we can write. Sometimes even protest is doing art, making art, whether the art has a message that shows what's going on, if it's art that shows beauty to combat the dark. It's not, I'm tired of people wanting to just say, well, it is what it is, and just, we all need to be angry about what's going on. It's just how we need to choose. And again, being taught that I can't expect or tell people how to feel, but I think we can all agree. And yes, that's exactly what my peer specialist said to me. All emotions and how we feel are valid. And again, it's how we direct that anger, that emotion, and what we can do to make things better, to help one another, especially women. And again, for people who may think that this is my show on Mondays is because I hate men. No, what I do see is that, and the women, and there are women who are contributing to this as well, to the abuse, the misogyny, and dare I say, dictatorialship of women, and trying to suppress women and belittle women. And so, yeah, I'm angry. I have rage. I'm very passionate, and I can just do so much, especially with mental health. Hey, Beth, I just want to say hi really quick. I see you in chat. I want to. I will flip through videos. I don't always comment. I don't always post a lot of stuff on social media, but I do like to share when I can with people what I am learning, what I'm seeing, what perhaps we should, perhaps what we should, or maybe we can consider focusing on moving forward. And so, yeah, I think many of us are allowed to be angry. It's righteous anger. And sometimes I may get kickback because spirituality, because spiritual community, yeah, there's, but let's focus on the light. no, you know what, all, like Beth, not Beth, like Jack said, all emotions are valid. It's what we do with it. For me, with mental health and my anxiety and stuff, I can handle just so much and find ways of being able to focus on what I can do. Like right now, we're having a situation again at the park, starting today with unhoused, yes, but within the last week or so, we have had some new residents moving into the neighborhood, and these young teenagers, these young kids, um, are starting to sell drugs in our neighborhood. We've seen, the drop off, the hey man, hey, how you doing? Yep, and good, goodbye, and having to deal with language like F this and that, music, referring to women, bitches, I mean, hoes. I mean, it's yeah. So we're trying to combat this now, and so again, trying to help the community. Where can we direct? How can we write our council members? How can we write to our police officers? Sometimes it feels like you're just banging your head on the wall, but at some point, that banging is going to make that crack, and then you're going to have that breakthrough. Yeah. Um, I have a billion art ideas I really want to put on the paper. Oh, I hear that. So, yeah, I think it's okay. It's not political and it's human rights. Human rights shouldn't be up for politics. It should be a non-given. Everybody should have. And so, yeah, I balance my feed with what I watch, but I will again recommend her. I'm going to type her name into chat. Monty Mater. She is amazing. She was raised National Christian, in National Christianism, or however you want to pronounce it, and she got herself out of it. And she has a channel on Instagram, and people come after her and start saying, well, this and that, and she's like, nope, let's open up the Bible. She goes, this is what, and she reads off. She's knowledgeable about politics. When people try to pull things out of the Bible and throw that on her, making everything, she is amazing. I learn a lot from her. She's very proactive. She yeah, she's angry. She's got rage, but she knows how to channel that, and she makes a difference. So again, no matter how, you know, again, once we have that balance, it's good to be angry. It's good to have that righteous rage to be able to make difference in our community however you can. Again, through channeling that energy through art, music, poetry, joining community marches, joining, community groups that support one another and combat whatever your safety zone is, whatever your comfort zone is, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. Yeah, the sacred feminine and the rage. You better believe it. And hey, girl, hey. And Allison and I will be back Wednesday on Woo Woo Wednesday. Interesting conversation coming up. So, also talking about rage, I mean, I was, wanted to talk about her before I came on, and then of course with the eel, with the Morgan, talking about how we battle, how we direct our energy, and then with what I wanted to talk about, and again too, Ani DeFranco. She was known back in the day as an angry girl, and I love one of her songs. Her lines, she goes, "People say I'm an angry girl, but I guess I got everybody, fooled." And so a lot of times, what she wrote in her songs is that my anger, my message, what I want to get across, makes people uncomfortable because they don't want to hear, truth, or want to hear or share space for her truth. And because it makes them uncomfortable, she's considered, oh, she's angry. She's, this, she's hate. So, yeah, it's again how we channel that, how we embrace that lion, that strength card, and that chariot. Also the temperance too, balancing our emotions from cup to cup, making sure that we stay, emotionally balanced, that we're grounded while we do our work that we have to. So sad news. Well, where did it go? Oh, I lost it. I have to pull it back up again. So growing up, when I was learning my drums, when in my 20s, there was a band. They still exist, but they just lost a member. I was a big fan. Talk about militant and political. Um, L7. And look, I says I got 7 people in chat right now. So over the weekend, we lost Jennifer. She was the bassist for L7. And this was one of her latest pictures. And she died of a brain cancer. She had a long battle. With brain cancer. So she has passed. We have lost another. And I used to put, especially when they came out with Pretend That We're Dead and their album Bricks Are Heavy. And I would put those headphones on. Those would be one of the CDs. And then I got their others and I would just play. Dee Plakis is an incredible drummer as well. And yeah, they had some stuff that kind of made me went, but they were, again, very in your face, very punk, very heavy metal, grunge metal, whatever you want to call them. They were rebellious. They called out the government. And so, in honor of Jennifer, I pulled up one of my favorite songs by them. And I used to love singing this. My niece, my niece, who's going to be now, 47, I think, this year, or just turned 47. No, maybe she's getting a little higher up there, maybe 48, 49, 7 years apart. But anyway, she used to love singing this song with me. But from Bricks Are Heavy, their song Shit List. And so, in memory, let me read the lyrics. When I get mad and I get pissed, I grab my pen and I write out a list of all the people that won't be missed. You've made my shit list. For all the ones who bum me out, for all the ones who fill my head with doubt, for all the squares who get me pissed, you've made my shit list. And then so on this one here now, it goes, when I get mad and I get pissed, I grab my pen and I write out a list of all you assholes who won't be missed. You've made my shit list. So, talking about rage and anger and stuff. I thought I would share that one. I mean, the whole album, I think that was around the time of, Bush Sr. Bricks Are Heavy were, I think, around 93. So when I started my playing my drums again, L7. There was that first one. I can't remember the name of the first one. Might have been self-titled. Then Smell the Magic. Then I believe it was Bricks Are Heavy. And then there was another one after that. But that was their breakthrough album, was Bricks Are Heavy. So rock. And some people say rock in peace. I mean, we've lost Bonnie Tyler last week. This week we lose Jennifer Finch. So stuff saying rest in peace. Nah, rock on. Keep rocking it over there. So yeah. When I get anger for a valid reason and try to talk about it, especially with family members, they get anger at me for being angry and try to tell me it's not like me. Again, like Ani had said, people, a lot of times they don't want you, they get upset or they're uncomfortable because they don't like what you want to share. Sometimes it's truth that you are sharing, especially with families that have come from, especially women with sexual abuse. And I'm not worried about YouTube. This is for entertainment purposes only. But I don't monetize. But, sexual abuse, sexual assault, I will use that instead of the R word. Any type of, abuse, that's, especially in families, you hide, you try. No, that's what continues to make the problem, the problem doesn't go away by simply putting it under a rug. I mean, we've seen it. Some good news is the Tate brothers were arrested. How far that's going to go with their 59 charges against them, it's a start. The women from Epstein who knew that it wasn't going to make a difference for Blanche's hearing, they still went ahead, talk about righteous anger, and they went up and they stood in front and they still share their stories. So we can contribute, we can direct that energy into different ways of helping. Again, just monitoring that you're making sure that there's self-care, because when you do work where you are empowering people, supporting people, I'm trying to think of that other word. I can't think of it right now, because when I get passionate, my brain sometimes shuts off and I can't think of words. But when we, support and protest with others, when we're there to support and rally, show solidarity, that speaks volumes. And directing that energy into spell work as well. Kelly Maddox, when a lot of this shit was going down with ICE, she did a video where she took pictures of her doing hexing spell work and justice work on a candle, on her page. So there's all different ways of directing this anger, this rage, this disgust, because we all should be with what's going on in the world, and finding a healthy outlet for that is very important. And again, that's going to be differently for all of us, but whatever we do, it makes a difference. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that, especially with what we got going on here again. But like they say, when a spot opens, like when we had that last group removed and things were quiet for a while, energetically, another energy, has to take its place. I guess science-based word, but something takes its place. And so we have to start again, been calling upon the Morgan to help us with the drug dealing, and now with this new influx of new unhoused, and trying to get the police to do their job and help support us. So it's a never-ending battle. But again, making sure at the end of the day, even during the day, we take deep breaths, especially if we're watching something heavy, or if we work where things are heavy. They're heavy like bricks. Bricks are heavy. But our emotions, our lives can be, and the work that we do. So making sure that we take time out during the day for some self-care, meditation for 5 minutes, deep breathing, getting grounded, and doing what we can to take care of ourselves while still maintaining the battlefront, so to speak. So, but yeah, I want to share Jennifer, and some great memories. I wish I still had the pictures, but a friend of mine had a photography where we both did. Hers came before mine for our photography class. Self-portraits. You had to pick a self-portrait. Well, not self-portrait, but someone take your portrait. And her and I did some crazy pictures. She had different costumes and things and stuff. And one, me dressed in an Egyptian outfit, sitting in a bathtub with ice skates, me sucking on a ice cube. I mean, all sorts of fun stuff. But one of them was me on my drum set, leaning over. I had, my hat on, my I can't remember what was on my hat. I don't know if it was my Metallica hat or something, but my t-shirt was an L7 t-shirt. So, but yeah, good memories. And so stay thirsty, my friends. Stay hungry, my friends. So, all right, let me move this here out of the way. So yeah, the eel, pick it, yeah, we got the eel message with the Morgan. She's like, no, you said enough. Okay, so today I brought, besides my tiles, my obsidian veil as well. And I was shuffling just to get the energy flowing, in case because I know some people like readings on Monday from the decks. And interestingly, with everything that's going on, this is supposed to be, they said, the year, or it was last year, we're moving into the age or time period when the French Revolution took place, when the Revolutionary War took place. And we really need a revolution right now. Makes me think back to, was it Operation Mindcrime? Yeah, Operation Mindcrime from Queensryche. Revolution Calling. It was all about, a revolution, holding those in office or places of power, corporations, anyone, for holding them for account of their activities, their behavior. And what card came out? Marie Antoinette. I'm like, you can't make this up. So, Marie Antoinette. I am wrapped in my opulence, unaware of the suffering beyond the gilded walls. So, yeah, some people tried to speculate that maybe she got away, but no, I think she met the end. No, am I saying in this day and age we need to have a guillotine? No, maybe certain body parts, I would say yes, but you didn't hear me say that, especially when it comes to the men, the Epstein men and stuff. But anywho, so let's find where Marie Antoinette is. She's 37. So lessons, especially this time when we really do need a revolution. It's called, okay, so for Marie Antoinette, it's about reclaiming empathy, learning to have what she did not have for others. There's a 80-year cycle theory that's pretty interesting. Send me an article on that, Jax, or a brief video, and I'll take a look at that. Shelby says, yeah, I heard that the stars and planets are supposed to be like how it was during the American Revolution, the French Revolution. So Marie Antoinette was the last queen of France before the French Revolution. She became known for her lavish lifestyle and extravagant spending. So like someone we know. Facing intense scrutiny and criticism from the French people, who viewed her as an embodiment of the monarchy's decadence and insensitivity to the suffering of the commoners. Seriously, Beth. Yes, she's on page 37. See? Page 37. Wow. I thought she was older than that. I didn't know that. I wasn't really big on history, except for because they don't really teach you proper history in schools, but yeah, for me, it was all about the the poetry and the art and the music. So as the French Revolution unfolded, she and her husband were eventually overthrown and the monarchy abolished. Marie Antoinette's life took a tragic turn as she faced public trial, was accused of treason, and ultimately sentenced to the guillotine. In her execution in 1793, certain same numbers symbolized the end of an era and the fall of the French monarchy. Her lavish lifestyle and perceived indifference to the suffering of others highlights the dangers of detachment and disconnection. This is perfect because, again, when we detach ourselves from the suffering of others, I'm not saying that we take on the full-on brunt of suffering and live in it, where to the point where it makes me sick of others, but where we acknowledge it, we rally against it, when we feel that righteous anger, to reach out and tap in and reach out what we can do. So yeah, detachment, disconnection, it doesn't help, and then again, with the Morrigan, I just say you pick your battles carefully. It's all about strategy with the great queen. She is the queen of battle. She knows how to strategize and how to negotiate, or is it negotiate? No, navigate what she sees and how to move forward and where to direct one's sword, one's voice, Again, swords also voice, communication, voice, acknowledgement. So remember, understanding the struggles, of others and cultivating empathy for those facing challenges is of the utmost importance. And Beth, here, let me really quick. I saw that you said my undergraduate degree is in French. So I got a lot of French history. And yum. I'm like, wait, she's saying yum. I'm like, oh, chicken and broccoli. Yeah, that sounds good. So let's see. Reclaiming empathy invites us to reflect on our own attitudes towards wealth, status, and social responsibility. Confronting any tendencies towards self absorption or entitlement, and instead fostering genuine compassion and understanding for others. And I see a lot of that here, unfortunately, in Ashland. Even people who have lived here for a while said that they have not appreciated how things have turned, where people's priorities have taken place and where priorities and where they're focused on. And this usually comes to more of the people with this. So develop a deeper awareness of your own privilege and the responsibilities that come with it. Before, earlier on, I used to get angry when people would comment about my white privilege, especially as a woman. And for me, I felt personally attacked because of the color of my skin. Because people don't know, the roads I have traveled. People don't know what I have experienced, especially as a woman, especially the women in my family. So again, this was something that I have slowly come into learning. Yes, I do have privilege, and I see and understand now. There's still, again, a fine balance, but I think a lot of us with that privilege, if we can show that empathy, if we can direct that rage and feel that and be as supportive of those in our communities, that we can help them. So I'm just going to end there on that. Take a sip. And let me put up. Alrighty, so if anybody would like, I'm going to be pulling cards from the Obsidian Veil today. And I'm going to be pulling from my tiles, Miss Jackie's Crystal Moon. So, well, I'm waiting to see who would like one. It is so easy to point and judge and say things that aren't true until you step into the shoes of the ones who are hurting. Yeah. But as I step back, I get concerned. I mean, Ashland, I will say, is very protected. A lot of Oregon, at least where I'm at right now, knock on wood, keep things safe. We do not have an ice presence here. Yep, got her. Thanks, Jax. Got you. But it's in the back of my mind. My neighbors next door to me are, I believe, from Mexico. I'm not sure what part, but Mercadio and Angelica, and their sons. I cherish them. They're beautiful, amazing people. And I do worry at times. When I see certain cars slowly going by, and I don't know if they're looking for the dealers in the park or if they're looking to see if the park is safe to drop the kids off or to have a party, but I sometimes get concerned. And so that's where, when I think of things like that and I think about them, I use my energy, my power my energy, my power. That's what our energy is our power. And I put white light around them, some pink for love, and just trust and know that, they are safe and they are protected. So, yeah. Alrighty. So we've got Shelby. And boy, I love how cool Vixen's shape of Vixen's cards are, but sometimes they're a little hard to shuffle. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So, what page is she on? I really need to take this deck outside at some point and mark the backs of these cards on what pages they're on. It's interesting. We go from 37 to 27. And Shelby, your goddess is Hecate. I am the guardian of crossroads, the mistress of magic, and the keeper of secrets. And there we go. And it makes me think of that Kenny Rogers song. You got no one to hold them, no one to fold them, no one to walk away, know when to run. So the keeper of the secrets, knowing when to keep things to yourself, especially at a crossroads. So for me, crossroads in life, we may be looking for guidance. And so I love that she helps you on your road. She offers that light. She has a lantern. She helps us tap into our magic, reminds us of how powerful our magic can be. And that there are certain things when we're at those crossroads, whether when we're doing magic, we don't share necessarily with people so that our magic doesn't, or spell work doesn't lose that power. But keeping things to ourselves too, things that are personal, knowing who to share with them and who not to. So with Hecate, it's mystical calling. And hello, Sinmac11, new in chat. Nice to see you. Welcome. So Hecate is a powerful goddess in Greek mythology, is associated with magic, crossroads, and the realms of the living and the dead. So Shelby, I just got in my head when it comes to talking and being at a crossroads and secrets and what we share is knowing between the living and the dead. So there may be people who are no longer alive on this earth that have affected you in this life, and those with the living. So when it says here, at a crossroads in the realms of the living and the dead. So it feels like already being at a crossroads in our lives where we have to face certain things. Especially have some people say, well, this person is no longer alive. You don't need to bring this up. They're gone. Leave it alone. No, but this is my truth. I need to be heard. I need to be understood, validated, and I need to be able to use this to help. So Hecate's mysterious nature and her ability to traverse realms symbolize her connection with the depth of human consciousness and the unknown. She represents the liminal spaces where transformation and hidden knowledge can be accessed. As the goddess of magic and crossroads, she guides us through the depths of our own subconscious. Within the darkness lie profound revelations, hidden strengths, and the potential for profound growth. Hey, Kristen. Okay, Sinmac, I got you. Oops. Added to the list, but Kristen's here. And so, alrighty. I got you, Sinmac. And Kristen, we need to talk either tonight or tomorrow. So to prepare, her presence, so Hecate, her presence reminds us to tap into our intuition and explore our innate mystical abilities. Trust in your intuitive insights as they will guide you. We know this to be true with Hecate. And so through the darkness and help you uncover hidden knowledge. So the appearance of this card indicates that you are at a significant crossroads in your life. And also, your top tile is the Ten of Pentacles. And that's, financial success and wealth, but it's also about family and legacy and what you want to also leave behind as well. And with this crossroads, these secrets, things that you need to keep to yourself or what you need to reveal, her guiding light. I know you work with Artemis, but this might be something you might ask of Hecate if she can help you with, if this is something that you are drawn to, or if this resonates with you. So Hecate offers her guidance to help you make wise choices and find the path that aligns with your true self. Your underlying energy is the Six of Pentacles. And that's, the give and the take, the charity, being able to pay things forward. So when it comes to the legacy, the Ten of Pentacles, that's, coming full circle right now. There's financially supported, things coming, maybe more understanding with health, things with finances, with school. I know you're looking again for that new job, so this might be something too that she is helping you with. But when I see the Ten of Pentacles, I remember how you can really connect to legacy, to family, and not necessarily wanting to maybe take charity or get financial help from the family, wanting to, be on your own, to stand on your own. I mean, you're at the crossroads right now, having to make decisions. You're coming into more of an adulthood. So here it's embrace the journey ahead, be receptive to the guidance the Triple Goddess offers, and trust in your ability to navigate the depths of your being with courage and wisdom. And with her lantern that she has, allow that to help guide you on your journey, on your path. The Keeper of Secrets, the Mistress of Magic. Yeah, that's what I have for you, my dear. But with the Pentacles too, again, wealth, money. I know we've spoken in the past where, because you're receiving assistance from family to attend school, and you're working to earn your own way, your own money. There's that balance of, again, giving and taking, how much to take from family, how much, you're willing to work on your own. And sometimes concerned with that. Let me shut this off. I'm getting text messages. Sorry about that, y'all. And I know sometimes with the pentacles, sometimes when people give, sometimes we wonder if there's something that we have to sign for, attachment. So sometimes we may be concerned about taking financial assistance, signing on that line. Because at some point we may have to, to pay back or to answer for, or is this gift going to come with many ties, or at a price? So they're at that crossroads. I feel like it's balancing, your financial security, and stability, while being concerned about how much to give or take, to accept help financially. And with this new job, I mean, not well, look at with this new job. I'm not saying that you got, but being positive and just saying, okay, this job, this is something I want. It's going to provide this, and this for me. And if it's for my highest good, so mote it be. So, alrighty, Shelby, my dear. Let's see. Actually, I have been talking to Artemis and giving her and Persephone offerings. I think they're looking out for me as well as Hecate. I'll have to give her something too. Let's see. Yep. Kristen volunteers at a kitty shelter. Let's see. So, well, trying to find another job while my current job is going down the creek seems very much like a big crossroads. Yeah. Time to trust in the intuition and your magic and create and try to. You guys, sometimes you got to watch the toxicity of you can manifest. Yes, we can to a certain degree, but sometimes manifesting so much that, if you manifest, you will get it. Sometimes if that thing does not manifest into, and we did not get it, sometimes it wasn't meant to. So again, there's that balance, that duality of certain spiritual keywords and things. Manifestation, we very much are our own magicians, and we manifest and we create. And sometimes if something doesn't come to fruition, like it to me in the past, someone said, well, you weren't positive enough, or you didn't try hard enough, or you weren't, putting enough energy. So sometimes, again, kind of watching that. And that's a little bit too of some things Kristen and I are going to be talking about tomorrow. So, yeah. Alrighty, where am I at? 252. So, I don't know your name, so I'm just going to say hello, SW. If you see the ticker, it says Sacred Feminine Readings. They're not personal questions today. I'm doing messages from the Sacred Feminine, my deck today, also Women from History messages. It's basically an oracle deck, and I pull some tiles to go along with the card that you receive. So if that's something you would be interested in, please let me know. Just type me. If not, maybe on a different show that I might do in the future, where I will be happy to take a personal question. And you never know, whatever that question that might have been might actually be answered by the general reading from, the Sacred Feminine deck. So, but welcome. Good to have you here. And let's see. And I'm not really taking anything from my family for college. My community college has a funding where I can go for free. There you go. Because I know at one point, I think in the past, there was that, well, they're paying for college. They kind of want me to do something that is worth the money. So, girl, this ball is all in your corner. It sounds like, crossroads, and it's just time to figure some stuff out. So let me take a quick sip. And we've got Jax. Let's see. Sure, that would be lovely. Okay. So is there a name, SW, or even a nickname that you would like for us to refer to you by? So please let us know, unless SW, you're down with that. I'm down with that. So Marie, that's my middle name. So, alrighty. Can't forget that name now, can I? So, okay. So, Jax is next. And then we have Sinyak. And then we will have Marie. And that will probably bring me to the end of my show, because I'm on free StreamYard now. Let me do another shuffle for that. That was kind of weird. It's warm here. We have a high of 94 today. I have AC on, but still, we're getting some humidity, and I'm like, ugh. Okay, who did you get? Oh, wow. I haven't seen you, a lady, in a while. Okay. We find what page she's on because we pretty much know who this lady is. She's been around for a while. We all know her, and hopefully, on some level, love her and respect her. But where are you in the book? Oh, wow. Give me a memento. So, Jackson, you got Mother Mary, you got the Virgin Mary. Um, and I can talk on and on about because I used to. Well, she's still part of my spiritual life. She's kind of taken a step back so I can work with the Morrigan. Um, why is she? There we go. Oh, because he did the H. Okay, or the T. So what page is it? 75. So this is all about sacred grace, my dear. And I'm going to say, looking at your cards, having some grace for yourself with everything that you have been through. So, my divine light shines to guide all towards love, forgiveness, and eternal hope. And so there you go. You have the Virgin Mary from this deck. Really like the colors he chose too for this deck. So we all know significant place in Christian tradition, and she's also in Islamic tradition. Many people don't know that. So she's also revered and mentioned in the Quran for the Muslim community. So according to the Gospels, Mary, who was visited by the angel Gabriel, we all know how her conceivement of her child of Jesus. So despite the challenges and social implications, Mary accepted her role as a mother. She surrendered and devoted to the rest of her life to a higher purpose, leaving her agency in the hands of others. A story of devotion, strength, and surrender to a higher purpose. She is considered a model of compassion, maternal love, and spiritual grace. And you are all about the maternal love, my dear. You know, being there for Vin, being there for Aster, um, and showing compassion to who they want to be, who they want to become, or how they see themselves. And it says she also reminds you to trust in a higher power. And I know you do, though sometimes I know things can get very, very hard, very dark for you. But she's acknowledging to surrender to the divine guidance that is available. You are supported and protected on your spiritual journey so long as you do not lose yourself to others and dim your own light for that of others or for that of theirs. Wow. And they mentioned the regular things that we all know about her. Open your heart and trust in the path that is unfolding before you, even if it may be challenging or uncertain. And you can always find solace in her as well, it says here. But it's interesting. Open your heart and trust in the path that is unfolding before you, even if it may be challenging or uncertain. And your first tile is the Nine of Wands. So, yeah, you've been through some shit. You're still standing. That takes a lot of tenacity, a lot of strength, and you're still standing up. You're still holding on. Those other ones are in the past, and here you got this one. And with the 10 of Wands is when we take that last one when we're like, oh, how much more of I can take? But right now, right here, you're like, this is the one I'm holding on to. This is what's keeping me up. And again, too, the Wands, fire, motivation, inspiration. So still holding on to that one. But what's interesting, like the other reading, it's the same suit, but the underlying energy is the Page of Wands. And so again, this is with the path unfolding for you. Now it's time to start looking into what inspires you, what motivates you. Um, these messages are coming through. You're seeing that. You're feeling more like now it's time to kind of focus on my life, what I want to do. Possibly how can I help others? Um, and yeah, she's, Mother Mary, she's a part of forgiveness. And so this part of healing, moving forward, opening up on your new path. Um, this is a beautiful message of inspiration. This page is actually going to be you finally. It's interesting. The page holding this wand and then holding this one here. It's kind of like, okay, time to take rest, time to take that off, heal. That one that you're holding on to, let's look at that. What has been holding you up? What inspires you? What motivates you? What keeps you going? And so trusting in that, continue to be curious, continue to be exploring. And I love that, Jax. And I need to take a sip because I'm thirsty. And Irene is here. Hi, Irene. And hello, Anna. Full circle is coming. Oh, that last, too, with the 10 of Wands, with that completion, maybe just dropping all 9 of those, grabbing that one that is the most important to you, that's the most inspiring to you, and moving forward with that one. You're welcome, my dear. Hurt but managing. Yeah, getting better each day. I'm starting to focus some of that energy on you, my dear. Okay, so up next, Sin Mac, are you still here? Please let me know. For people who are new to my chat to request a reading, I ask that you stay in chat so that when your name is called, you are here so I can connect with your energy. And it's also just very respectful to the reader as well. Yes, you are. So let's see what we got for you. Shelby, you got to stop putting food descriptions in the chat. Girl. First name is Cindy. Okay. Welcome, Cindy. I just thought of Laverne and Shirley, how they were dancing around and they would put their gloves on the beer bottles. I always liked Cindy better. She was fun. Although Laverne could be very funny. Well, I guess she's here to have a message. Cindy, you also got Mother Mary. I'm going to pull you some tiles. Hey, Courtney. What's up, girlfriend? And Aries for everybody, that is Courtney. With an O, no U. A couple times I've been tempted to call her Courtney Love. She's like, no. Talk about rage, though. Righteous rage and anger and stuff in music. She's another one to tap into. It's amazing that we still have her as well. So, alrighty. Let me just take that down. And we are now reading for Cindy. Where I might just want to pull her name up here so everyone can see her and say hello. Okay. Boy, they keep messing with my chat. There you are. Alrighty. So again, we got Mother Mary at the Virgin Mary. And I'll show you the picture again so you can see that. Okay. And again, her message is, my divine light shines to guide all towards love, forgiveness, and eternal hope. So looking at this here. So Cindy, your top tile is the Hierophant. And I'll show that to you in a minute. The Hierophant represents mentors, people that we look up to spiritually, like a spiritual mentor, or it could also represent somebody like a mentor in college, like a professor, a teacher, um, or just somebody in our neighborhood that we go to for mentorship. Um, and what I'm looking at here is a message about forgiveness. This is what I'm focusing on. Looking at your other tile. So your bottom tile, which is for me the root of the reading here, you have the Seven of Swords. Okay. And the Seven of Swords, its main traditional um, meaning is about theft, something being stolen, something taken, a betrayal. Here's someone stealing swords and running. Now with the Suit of Swords, that's thoughts, communication. It can be extremely painful. So I'm looking at possibly you felt that, or I'm looking. So here, let me just back up. So there was a sense of betrayal, something that like your trust, your devotion, your loyalty. It feels like something had been betrayed. Now with the Seven of Swords, that's the person running, taking these from you to represent that, or it could be that whatever you can salvage, and the two are left behind. And that's you strategizing on how to get away from this particular individual or whatever the situation is. And I'm not going to look at the chat because I don't want to get distracted. So, but when it's with the mentorship on top, how I'm reading this, sweetheart, is that there was a sense of betrayal by someone that was a mentor, someone you looked up to, someone you trusted, whether this is a spiritual figure, again, a professor, somebody in your life, a friend. It could be, but usually the Hierophants represent some sort of higher learning or education. And again, it could be somebody that had a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom that you would go to trust, to learn from, to gain wisdom. And so with Mother Mary, when it comes to forgiveness, you know how we always say, well, we got to forgive people who hurt us. No, we don't. Okay. We have to, forgiveness is different for every person. Some people may feel like, okay, I can automatically say, I forgive. Some favorite sayings are, I forgive, but I don't forget. Forgiveness comes when we are ready to let that. And we should never be guilted or shamed into forgiving someone or situation if we're not ready to do that yet. Give an example right here. So whatever the sense of betrayal, and nowadays, with technology, communicate swords are about communication, thoughts, spoken words. This could maybe been something that was done through social media, through an email, a possible gossip, whatever it is, something was communicated or taken from you that you felt like, how can I trust this person again? And so right now, having forgiveness, maybe not for the person, but sometimes we get that feeling of, where we feel like, how can I forgive myself for being duped, by this individual? And sometimes people play a good game. They speak a good game. A lot of people present themselves in a certain light. And, when the true mask comes off. So we also have to show ourselves some forgiveness, some compassion towards us, like Mary, and love, and to not to lose hope moving forward. That not everybody or every situation. I mean, this could be a person, this could be a an agency, this could be, you know, a group, it could be whatever, but the energy of, okay, you know, yeah, betrayed, taken, but I can't lose hope. And know that there's still people out there that you can reach out to, that you can trust. Um, but this forgiveness, this healing for any person or persons involved, will come when it's in your when you're ready for it. And again, no one should be shamed or pushed or influenced or coerced into a forgiveness. So I'm catching some things out of the corner of my eye. So that's what I have for you, my dear. Let me just put those tiles back in there. Take a sip and let's see what we have. So let me, okay, I can't use my stupid mouse pad on here. So Allison, okay, bye girl. Let's see, is it too late? Irene, I'll see if I can stick you in there, girl. I'll just have to shorten rage. Oh, you can say that again when it comes to rage, because boy, okay. All right, let me see. Okay, so, oh wow, okay, that's one I pulled Mother Mary. Okay. Let's see, really quick. Courtney says, hi, beauty, Courtney. um, let's see. And Irene, everyone's saying hello, saying goodbye to Allison. Yes, a past relationship he took from me. Okay. And yes, we are very sorry. You will learn in my chat. We are all very kind. We're very compassionate, sometimes opinionated, but we stay, you know, respectful as possible and understand that we're all going to, you know, have different experiences, you know. For it is. Um, I've been told multiple times, well, it's about time you forgive your mother. Oh, no. I will forgive when the feeling is right, when the time is right, where I feel it. Again, that's another form of like spiritual bypassing or toxic spirituality, where people are like, well, you can't move forward unless you forgive. Maybe you can forgive maybe a certain situation or a word but that true forgiveness has to come when it feels right for you. And so if there is any of that anger or that hurt, it's, you know, up to us, our own agency, to be able to direct that into something positive for ourselves. Um, you know, through whatever, you know, any creative means, helping people in the family. It's it's interesting that helping people in the family, but how we ever redirect that energy into something that's positive and meaningful to us. Um, Definitely in form of true shadow work. I wish I could forgive my sister, but I just can't do it. And you know what? That's all right. Same here too. Yeah, we all, I mean, that's why we're here, right? And that's one of the things that Allison and I are going to be talking about on Wednesday for Woo Woo Wednesday is, you know, having the conversation, because there's a lot of different ideas of, you know, before we come into this life, you know, do we choose our parents? Do we choose who to come in as? Do we have a set script? How much is actually free will? How much of it is something that's already? And her and I are going to have that conversation. And so for some people, we come here for these lessons. Was that something meant to happen? Or was that something that just because that person was shitty and wasn't supposed to happen? So again, but yeah, lessons, you know, they make us stronger, you know. we just put that in, write that in our book, like with our high priestess, that book of wisdom. So that as we move forward, and if we start meeting people, and you're hearing one thing, but you're not quite feeling right, and that intuition kicking in, tap into that wisdom. Yeah. Forgiveness. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, it is. Girl. Yeah. Oh, I could write a whole book on that. Forgiveness isn't about who's right and who's wrong. It's about peace. And if you can't provide peace at that point right now in time for a particular individual or situation, then you will when you're ready to. And, I've even been told by, people I talk to, and if I don't have this forgiveness, before I pass away for my mother, that's not going to be on me. It's because it's just things that happened to me that I wasn't able to, process, but it's not going to make me, make me less or make me fearful about crossing over. So, yes, and I appreciate that's wonderful. All right, I must be being too loud. My fellow just closed my door. Me. Yep, we all learn. Yep, we do our very best. After I get moved, I plan on journaling about this stuff, hoping to purge it. There you go, girl. Purge, burn, or maybe even publish. Purge or publish. You never know. Sometimes our stories can maybe help others. Yes. I mean, it's a topic you can have multiple times with people. I had that conversation a few years back with Jeff Tarot Ask Backwards, and with Tom, Early Ritual, or Didn't Show Up Ritual. I can pick on him. He's my little bro. Let's see. The forgiveness was a gift from myself. I don't speak to her anymore. That's how it has to be. Nope. So let's see. Marie, are you still here? Please let me know. We'll take another sip. You guys hear a beep beep? That's Shan heating up some dinner. Okay, she's here. Okay. Whoa, okay. Now, let me try. These cards aren't easy to shuffle. I mean, look at that. They're like this long. Oh, we have Marie, and earlier we were talking about Marie Antoinette today. So the Maries are present. It'd be funny if you got Marie Antoinette, Marie. Oh, no! I kid you not. Everybody, you saw me shuffling. And I just said, wouldn't it be funny if I got Marie Antoinette for you, Marie? And guess who I got? I got Marie Antoinette. Guys, you can't make this up. You just can't. So Marie Antoinette really wanted to make a process. Let's see. Cindy said my granddaughter's middle name is Marie. Mine's middle name too. No, Courtney, I kid you not. I mean, look at that. Courtney, I'm going to add you, but I'm going to do my best. Let's see. Where are you up here? Trying to find right. StreamYard. There we go. Okay. Magic in your hands. Oh boy. Okay, so Marie. what does Marie and the tiles have to say? I mean, I talked about her. So if you go to the beginning of the show, or a little bit further in, I was talking about her. Everything seemed to line up. So we all know again that Marie Antoinette was the one without no compassion, no empathy. It says here on the card, I am wrapped in my opulence, unaware of the suffering behind the gilded walls. So, so she's all about self-entitlement. So she's acknowledging that there's this energy is acknowledging that there's something going on right now. Miss Tarot D, guess what I'm using today? Sorry, Marie, just a second. Miss Tarot D, I'm using my tiles. I shook my bag in the beginning, going, wonder if I can conjure Miss Tarot D. So, I'm sorry, Marie. Miss Tarot D is our La Madrina here. So she's our fairy godmother. So continue. So Marie, Miss Tarot D, I got to share with you really quick. So earlier on, I had pulled Marie Antoinette, to kind of for a collective in the beginning. And so we have a couple newbies in chat, chatters. And she told me her name was Marie. And I'm shuffling this deck. Everyone saw me doing it. And I laughed and I said, wouldn't it be funny, Marie, if you got Marie Antoinette? And Miss Tarot D, if I didn't get Marie Antoinette, if she did not come up. So that's where we're at right now. Where do we go for those tiles? JamieSawyer.com. She's the one that does the Sawyer Redux. She's got felt tiles. She's got Lenormand. She's got a whole bunch of stuff. Jackie was able to gift me these tiles. She had some help, but she was the main one that got me my tiles. And Miss Tarot D loves to drool all over my tiles. So, and Roman is here lurking because I'm Nelly. I don't get that. But anyway, so Marie, back to your reading, my dear. So, of course, Marie Antoinette, just did not care about the suffering of the people. Marie represents exactly the current administration going on in our country. I don't know where you're from, Marie. And so this was all about spending on herself. The aristocracy didn't care. People were suffering. And so this feels like this energy is coming through because I'm looking at your tiles. Your top tile is the moon. And the moon is about, yes, the moon connects us to our sacred feminine. She's the goddess. She is the lamp at night that looks over us and guides us through. And she's also the light that shines in our shadows. Sometimes things that we might be afraid of looking at. This might be due to because it's parts of ourselves that we were told to repress, that we should not. Basically, things that would diminish who we are light. An example, like an individual who was told, well, you shouldn't be gay, or you shouldn't be this, or you shouldn't be, and people would use that to shame an individual where that might become a part of their shadow. So the moon shines light into all aspects, our traumas, again, things that people put on us, things that we might put on ourselves. But the moon is that beautiful, loving mother energy, that light, that intuitive energy, and connecting to our emotions, connecting to our dreams, trusting in the work. And so with Marie here, the suffering, it feels like there's something that you're going through where you're working through possibly a trauma, some sort of dark night of the soul kind of thing. but knowing that our dark is just as important as our light. I know people use dark a lot as a negative, not just in tarot and spirituality, but our physical appearance. Anything dark is bad and evil, but a lot of times our shadows are our other part of ourselves, that sometimes we might fear to explore, again because of guilt, of shame, um, especially if they may be trauma informed, things that have happened to us in our lives, and so for some, it's kind of scary, but your underlying root is your Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is a beautiful energy. It's coming in from the universe. It's an opportunity. We can take it, or we don't have to. But it's an opportunity that's being handed to us. And the wands are about, again, our passion, our creativity, our motivation. So, looking at this, it feels like there has been possibly someone that caused that type of suffering, where they were not, they were not compassionate, they were cold, uncaring. Your well-being wasn't their concern, or as in their concern. This may be one or two people, and it could be us as well. Something that has occurred in our trauma, in our past, where we may feel that we don't deserve to show ourselves that compassion, that empathy, that self-care. And with Miss Tarot D being in chat, I'm going to share again what I always love, what she says: self-care is not vanity, it's sanity. So it's time to really take care of ourselves, to go into our dreams if we have to, go into those shadows, into our intuition, and look at what we need to work on. It doesn't have to be everything all at once, but this beautiful opportunity is the root of, okay, now's time. Maybe I'm inspired. How can I creatively maybe work through these shadows, these feelings of apathy and just uncaring and mistreatment, um, done upon me, by others or one particular individual? And how can I work through, my shadow work, what needs to be done? And that could be creatively, suggestions, journaling, artwork, um, being out in nature. Next time we have a full moon, standing out, July, somewhere around, because next Sunday I'm going to be doing a full moon show with Kristen and Jackie B. So that's going to be right around the full moon. Maybe going out and basking in that full moon, asking for that energy, that cleansing. Full moons are amazing for cleansing, especially with the water connection as well. Taking a sacred bath or shower, allowing a lot of that heavy energy just to wash over, cleanse, purify. Um, but yeah, the opportunity, um, you feel this opportunity. You may already see it. You may already be providing yourself ways of being able to process things that, might have been swept again under the rug or kept hidden or not to talk about. And it's okay to be able to address that, when you're ready. But it feels like the energy is already there. And that's what I have for you, Marie. I hope that resonated with you. I hope that helped. And I still can't believe that after San Marie, she came up. Um, let's see. Wait a minute. What? Wait, what? Self entitlement. She's self entitlement. Are you talking about me again? Oh. Marie Antoinette, the queen. Not quite. You're the opposite of her, Miss Tarot D. We love you. You're the bestest. Let's see, Marie. So, haha, it happens. No worries. Let me just catch up with chat here. Cool tiles. Wow. Too expensive for me. It's cheaper to tile my kitchen. Okay. Yes, definitely Dark Night of the Soul. I'm trying to get out of it because it's exhausting. Little at a time. You don't have to go in there and chomp it off all at once. Um, find ways of with that Ace of Wands to maybe creatively express, release, writing things down, and then burning it. Maybe just baby steps, addressing one thing at a time. But yeah, we are all different, and we don't have to do everything all at once. Especially if you're feeling exhausted. It's time to get out into nature, kind of get grounded. Plenty of self care. Don't tell she gets. I missed something. This is about an ex. I'm hurt about it still. I don't understand they even had any regret or I meant anything. Well, it's time. That's the past. And I'm not trying to spiritual bypass because those emotions are going to come up. I mean, they still do for me. And this is going back to my early 20s, but you don't feel it that much. It's more like a tinge than something that really aches right now. So yeah, maybe I visually taking that club and boom, smacking him over the head with it. I'm not promoting physical violence on anybody, but sometimes if you're feeling heavier down, just pretend in your mind, grabbing it and going, give him a whack for that. But yeah, it can be hard. So I don't know. This is Marie. No, okay. Yes. Sin is Cindy and Marie is SW. Let's see. Love you all, but bye. I know it's dinner time. It's 3:30 here, and I'm getting hungry with all you guys talking about food. So I'm just going to kind of skip through the comments because I have a couple more readings to do. Let's see. Adulting has pulled me away the entire life. Oh my goodness. Don't worry, Kristen. I'll mention the show for tomorrow. So I did get Cindy. I did get Marie. I did get Jax. Oops, I just took off Courtney, but Courtney, I will get to you. I'm at 333. If I go over a little bit, I go over a little bit. So, Irene. Oh, excuse me. You can tell I'm getting hungry. I'll be sipping his water. So, who do we get for Irene? Oh, these cards stick. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Oh, this is interesting. Let's find out where she is. She, I think, is the only native or indigenous feminine that Vixen included in his deck. And where is she? Oh, why do I go through this every? I got you guys. I really got to. There she is. Number these. So they didn't pronounce. Okay, so Amunate. No, Amanut. I believe it's Amanute or Amanut. And she is also known as Pocahontas. True strength lies not in conquest, but in the power to forge unity. And there she is. So she's about the bridge of unity. Amanut. I think it's Amanut. No, there's no apostrophe over the E, so I don't think I'm supposed to pronounce it Amunate. I think it's just Amunut. So she was born around 1596 as the daughter of Chief Powhatan, the leader of numerous tribes in the region. She played an important role in establishing peaceful relations between the Powhatan people and English settlers of Jamestown. Over time, Amunut acted as a bridge between her people and the English settlers, helping ease tensions and fostering a period of relative peace. So she was the mediator. However, in 1613, Amunut was captured and held as hostage, forced to convert to Christianity, change her name, and marry an English settler. Amunut represents the collision of cultures, the struggles of colonization, and the complexities of identity. I believe that's who she is. I could be wrong, but I believe that's who. He didn't mention that in here, so I hope I didn't get that wrong. Inviting us to confront our own prejudices and barriers to unity. She encourages us to embrace the lessons of empathy, resilience, and the power of forging connections across differences. Amunut symbolizes the power of bridging divides, whether they are cultural, racial, or ideological. I think this is who she's supposed to be. Because you know how they change names, especially with Disney and all of them. And it wasn't that, oh, she fell in love with him. And not, no, she was taken pretty much by force and had to live that life. Like I said, could be maybe mistaken the two. This card prompts you to actively work towards building connections and finding commonalities with others. It encourages diplomacy, compassion, and finding peaceful resolutions or conflicts. And what's your top tile, my dear? The Justice card. Jackie B! No, yeah. Well, it's Jackie, and it's Miss Jackie B if you're nasty, right? So, so seek balance, mutual respect, and understanding. Address conflicts or imbalances in your relationships and find ways to restore harmony and peace. And girl, I know you were. So it is right. Pocahontas was her childhood nickname. Okay. So, yeah, it's about time to have some justice, right? Have some fairness, some balance. Irene, because your bottom tile is the tower. So things had to get shaken up, things had to get broken, and it's time to rebuild. And it seems that is what you're doing. Sometimes one small brick at a time. Sometimes they go up fast. Sometimes you got to layer them. So one brick at a time, my dear. That's the root of all this. Again, not the conquest, but to forge unity. So trying to find balance, finding justice, equality, for you in your life with others in your family, and those that are part of your involvement in your moving. This could be government, this could be landlord, but I think a lot of this, excuse me, is focusing on, also karma as well. I've heard karma associated with the justice because, yeah, karma is about justice. So again, finding that balance, having a fairness that you are seeking after this tower moment, and rebuilding it to how you want, and being that mediator. So as you're rebuilding, and you're stacking and recreating, you maintain, you're like the mediator, you're maintaining, you have to be that mediator so that the balance, you don't have to have another tower moment. The foundation is built better, where this is the bridge, this is where we got to unite, these are my boundaries, and this is where I sit on my throne, and how I want my balance, my fairness to play out. So that's what I have for you, my dear. You know what I should probably do in case anybody else comes in? I'm just going to so I have time for one more. So let me my daughter is at her dad's right now. He left his partner. So we're going to share parenting of her again. Interesting. So then that justice, the court systems, I'm not, bridging unity. So trying to work both sides so that your daughter feels safe, or she gets the help and support that she needs without it all being on you. And now you can move forward. But she's got the British royalty and enjoyed hanging with the men and dressing like them in England. Oh, did she? Yep, sometimes women had to do what they had to survive. And yes, I was mentioning a little while ago, because I got the moon card next Sunday. Me and Kristen Louise are going to be a guest on Jackie's channel for full moon readings. So see you all there. And Kristen and I will be here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern. And yes, definitely his partner wouldn't let my daughter go there. Okay, so now this could be something moving forward. To be able to maybe give her a better sense of self, and maybe helping her develop a better sense of agency. I learned the word agency today, so I'm using the word agency. So it's been 3 years. And you're welcome, Marie. Thank you. And thank you, Cindy, too. It was nice to meet you. So, okay, so I have Courtney. Courtney, Miss Love. Are you here? No, Miss Erie's Witchcraft. Miss Witchy. I wish I had my dad involved, but Courtney had to leave. Oh, okay. Well, then that was my last reading. So actually, that works. So Kristen messaged me after the show, and we'll figure a time either this evening or tomorrow before, maybe tomorrow morning or something, so that we'll know we'll be on the same page. Okay, gotta go. Bye, Kristen, but message me so that we can compare notes and how we're going to do moving forward tomorrow. So Kristen Louise and I will be on my channel tomorrow, again at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and we're going to be looking at, again, ways of how, like how do we, like toxic counseling, how people address situations where someone has experienced grief or they're going through trauma, and how certain phrases or platitudes can people offer to those who have suffered or are suffering, that are said that to help either them feel better or them thinking they're helping the other person, and just kind of taking a look and just discussing, the certain sayings and how that can be helpful, but how it can also be detrimental. Because again, every person's going to be different, and one that might be on the list might mean the whole world to somebody, whereas another, that same one with another person, it's like, no, this, I can't hear this. This is upsetting me. So, Chris and I are going to start having that conversation. We are going to do readings tomorrow. We have to kind of figure out how we're going, what kind of types of readings, but we're going to be doing readings kind of based on how we refrain, how we give our answers and our insight into how we do our readings as readers. How can we, not, do too much toxic positivity in readings? How, looking at rewording how, so that we're not presenting readings that are spiritual bypassing. Cat Goddess is here. Hello, Cat Goddess. So, yeah, this might be a multiple series of shows. I'm hoping so, because this is something that I've, trained for, that, I got certified for this year with peer support, not clinical, but from a peer perspective, and having taken trauma informed and hopefully advanced trauma by the end of the summer. So, hoping to be able to use all of this informed learning and understanding in with my channel and with my readings. So that is tomorrow again at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And then Allison and I will be back on Wednesday for Woo Woo Wednesday. I believe it's episode 7. I'm going to have to fix the the thumbnail so it says episode 7. And we're going to be taking a look, having a conversation about, when we come here, when we incarnate, has this already been pre-planned? How much, is it pre-planned? How much of it is just left to chance? Do we choose our parents? Do we choose the trauma or the experiences that we go through? And sometimes that can be heavy. That could be, there's a lot of dark, bad, shit happens. There's a lot of beautiful things here about life and being on the planet and experiencing life, but there's also a lot of, dark, awful things that happen. And so just kind of looking at, discussing, is it pre-planned? How much of it is actual, you know, self-led? How much of it is out of our control? So we're going to be having that discussion on Wednesday. And so, and then of course, Saturday, I may or may not do my Saturday show, depending how much time I have left. And then Sunday, I'm going to be a guest on Jackie B's channel for full moon readings. So keep an eye out for that. To me and Kristen Louise. So thank you again, everybody, for joining me. Thank you for letting me read for you. I always love meeting new people and reading for new folks. And everyone, have a good rest of your night, and we will see you in the next chat or in the next live. So bye-bye, everyone. Thank you again.